Thanks for joining us. The operational and financial problems of the MBTA continue to be one of the biggest local stories of our time, and we're continuing to keep close eye on what's going on with the T by welcoming back a candid analyst and observer of the transit system, Brian Kane, Executive Director of the MBTA Advisory Board, an organization that includes officials from all of the communities that help fund the system. Brian, good to have you back here.
Thanks for having me, John.
Always appreciate your candor and your insight.
Thank you.
So just over a week ago, as we're taping late in the week, a major power failure hit the subway system at the height of the morning commute, leaving thousands of customers stuck on trains, darkened subway platforms. Initially, MBTA leadership claimed the problem was outside of the T's infrastructure. Now we learn the opposite was true. What happened, and why do so many T riders feel that they can't get any straight answers from the T?
It's so frustrating, isn't it? Apparently, a very long cable from the MBTA's power plant in South Boston, which feeds a substation that I believe is called the Lincoln substation, failed. It was 30 years old. It probably should have been replaced about 15 years ago, and it wasn't. And that led to all kinds of problems, as you mentioned. I mean, two big issues there. One, the fact that they're relying on a single power line with a single point of failure just is incredibly frustrating. And as you mentioned, the fact that we just can't get a straight answer is infuriating. I had all sorts of calls from people, and I was telling folks what I had heard from folks inside the T, that it was NSTAR or National Grid. It turns out it was them all along, and they just didn't tell the truth, and that's just frustrating as hell.
Is that a cultural habit that they can't shake? Do they understand how alienating that is to everyone involved?
I think some people do. I think the new leadership, Phil Ang, the new general manager, and the folks that he's brought in have been very transparent, but there's others that perhaps still have some bad habits.
Wow. Well, last month, T officials told the MBTA board that they see rising operating deficits for many years to come. I know that's no surprise to you. You talked about that here before. And they want the legislature to pass new fees and taxes to help the system survive. Sales tax revenues, a portion of which are set aside for the T, haven't been enough. Apparently, the millionaire's tax revenues won't be enough. The T is pointing to other states that have had to deal with similar deficits, looking at, let me take a deep breath here, new sales and payroll taxes, higher fees for vehicle transactions and driver's licenses, congestion charges, real estate transfer taxes, and more. Is this what we have to look forward to?
Yes. We have this to look forward to. The governor has said nothing is off the table. What the T is trying to look at is not an over-reliance on one single source of revenue, which is what they have now with the sales tax. They're trying to learn from some of their peers. New York City just did this. Rich Davey, former T general manager, was able to get through a series of increases across the board on a number of different things so that the transit system wasn't reliant on a single source. And I think that's what we're going to see here. So you're looking at border tolls, you're looking at parking fees, you're looking across the board at a number of user fees. I think you'll see more user fees than broad-based taxes, but I think the governor has certainly said the taxes are not off the table.
You know the legislature. You've been around the block here. How's that going to fly?
Well, I think the people certainly spoke a few years ago when they, through a ballot initiative, shot down a gas tax increase. I think a gas tax is certainly off the table. Folks that I've talked to in the legislature sort of go two ways. One is a lot of them just want to solve this once and for all and kind of be done with the never-ending cycle of funding deficits and problems. And others do not want to go back to their constituents with any sort of a tax increase. I understand. This transportation task force, which the governor is putting together, which I have the honor to be to serve on, is supposed to kind of find that right formula and that sweet spot that is politically feasible as well as produces enough money to sort of get us out of the transportation mess. If you have any ideas, John, please let me know.
I'm not the governor. Luckily for everyone. But Governor Haley's got some tough decisions ahead, that's for sure.